Sorry, I am doing a bunch of research right now. I missed part of this live because I had a caller call me back. I was cold calling for the last 4 hours and had one just call me back. Apparently, their mom just died in December, and they have 6 houses that they want to sell in the same market that I'm doing right now.
Oh,
They
dude.
have not
I like
started
it.
probate yet. They don't know where the keys are for the properties. They don't know what to do. He wants to get a lawyer. There's 2 brothers and a daughter involved. They have a will, but they don't know the location of it currently. So they're trying to get all that figured
Okay.
out. I was just on the phone with him, so I had to pause the live and deal with that for a few minutes. So I missed a couple of things in there. While I've been listening to you guys, I've been looking up the properties, writing down values and addresses, and I've been on the county assessor's website looking up taxes and everything on all these properties, trying to get all the information I can. Now, how exactly he's dead set on, I want to get an attorney before I do anything. We definitely want to sell him, but I mean, we got to figure this out. He doesn't know what to do. He's lost. How should I go about kind of comforting him to get him? Should I let him go get an attorney first? Should I try to get something started? I don't even know where to start.
So
I've never done probates yet, so
when it comes to them wanting to get an attorney, like you don't really have if they want to do it, they're going to do it anyways.
that's
Like
kind of how I talk to him about it.
You can't force it. Number two, you have an idea of the condition of these houses, like price range, or they like.
So he said that they've all been vacant since about 2008.
Okay.
So they're all going to need renovate. He doesn't have a lot of details on them yet. They're in Ohio. I have, a general, I've looked them all up since in the last 20 minutes, just kind of going over them.
Yeah.
The values aren't bad, but obviously they're all going to need a lot of work. He said they don't have keys for any of them, so I'm probably going to have them keyed or get a real estate agent out there to help me through this.
So let me give you a couple. First of all, avoid the real estate agent like the plague right now because they're going to work against you in the beginning.
Gotcha.
Okay. Number two, are you in Ohio or are you doing it virtual?
I'm in California. I'm all virtual. So the real estate agent would more be the runner is what I'm looking for. I need somebody local out there that I can get to help me out.
Okay. I mean, it's very lucrative. How a property's been vacant since 2008 in this hot market is almost beyond me. Like
they're in Allen County, Ohio, just north of Dayton.
Don't give addresses.
Yeah, please don't.
I'm not giving out addresses. It doesn't even come up. It's not on any probate lists or anything. Nothing's been started yet.
Yeah. So be careful you reach out to like be a runner. This is one of the deals that I questioned that the property sat vacant for 15 years and nobody's found these. That just seems
kind of odd.
It seems a little bit odd. So
they've got 11 properties in their name. They want to keep 5 of them and they're getting rid of 6 of them.
Okay. So let me give you a couple tips. You have to be patient in this process. You can't, if they want to deal with an attorney, just don't advise against it because you can burn them quick.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Number two, find their biggest problem property. The one that's pain in the ass. Try to get a contract on that one.
Okay.
Because you want to see what their attention is. And that way, let's just start with one. Let me just kind of run some numbers. Ask them, what's your biggest problem property? So whenever I have multiple properties, it doesn't matter if it's probate or just a straight up somebody owns them for cash. Instead of trying to take down 4 or 10 properties at once, ask them what their biggest problem property is vacant and take one down. And if they cooperate with you on the one, it's usually very easy to do the next few.
Okay.
Because like I've done a package deal where you offer $1 million for like 10 homes. And then like they get in a struggle over like, well, can't you do like $1,050,000? And like you get in this contest and it doesn't like, let's just see if we can do one.
Break them down individually.
I find that most people,
as a group.
Honestly, in my honest opinion, is when they have 4 or more properties, they usually mess with you like real bad. I'm just like, am I right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what's really weird is looking, I generally use PropStream. None of these are linked together. They are all individual. There's no linked properties under her name. but they're all under her name. I've looked them all up on the county assessor, but
That's
it
good.
was kind of weird. None of them are linked together.
So here's what I would do is,
They get data from the county, so
yeah,
that's
I would start with one
Yeah.
property and just say, listen, just to show you I'm genuine and just see how we work together. Let's see if we can just come to terms on one.
Okay.
I'll still work with the attorney and he can look over and okay and endorse everything and go from there. That way you don't waste your time trying to pull all these numbers, have a runner go to 3 million different properties to find out that they're just going to drag this thing on for years.
Gotcha.
And then you can find out what the process is they're going to do it. And if it goes really well, heck, they've waited 15 years. What's another 2 or 3 months to get these deals done?
Yeah. Well, that's
I mean,
right. I mean, it just happened in December. It's pretty fresh. I wasn't calling them because I was looking at a probate list,
yeah,
and it just kind of
and
happened.
yeah, it happens by accident. But man, these things are like ripe for like they're easy, they're run down. As far as the key thing, that's really easy, and that's a service you can offer them. But start with one property. Don't try to go rekey 6 properties. So one property within $75, you can usually call a locksmith. I'm gonna let you a little. Locksmiths don't ask me a lot of questions. You pay them, they'll change the locks on it. They don't care.
you always have it legal in your city, county, or state, though.
Yeah, but it's if not, you have to get a letter from the owner saying that you have permission to change the locks. Once you do that, you control who goes in and out of that property.
Okay.
So it's a great investment. Like,
and they're aware that I'm
$75
not local, so I mean, I told them that I work with some people in the area, which I do have a list of buyers in that area, but
yeah,
they're aware I'm not local. So
yeah. Well,
Perfect.
I mean, you just got to kind of go through, but just try to take one out of them and see if that way you can just take a small fraction and see if they're going to work with you on it. Because lawyers are going to try to bunch all 5 or 6 of them up
that's
together.
kind of where. How complicated is an attorney going to make? What should I be prepared for with an attorney? You know, he wants to go get an attorney, so because they have to start the probate. You know, they have a will, but they have to find it and everything. Go through all of this to start.
You
the
just want to make sure you have an assignable contract. So the best way to get an assignable contract by an attorney is use like some of your state accepted contracts, and there's a box. You listen, contracts all do the same thing. It just some have more words than others. So you want to make sure, like, attorneys like to see a lot of paperwork. They're a pain in the butt, and they like to see a deposit. So on something like this, you could leave a $500 deposit on one house, because if you have to do 6, that's going to be $3,000.
Yeah,
a lot of paperwork, stuff like that. So that's just my suggestion. And then the attorney, I'll prepare you. They're going to make you jump through a few hoops. Like sometimes they want to see proof of funds, all that other fun stuff. But long as you have a signable contract and you get past the attorney, the sky's the limit what you can do with the property.
Okay.
It has to be an assignable contract to give you options.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, and that's where I mean, I generally, you know, I have your guys' contract. I've just kind of cross-referenced to make sure that it'll work out in Ohio and everything. Everything seems all right. So
yeah, I mean, if not, you can find, you know, just realtors like more complicated contracts. They don't like 1 or 2 page contracts.
Yeah.
So
and then with the title company dealing with probates, how does that? I mean, is that pretty simple? They're usually, I mean, I have a couple title companies out there I work with, but like I said, I've never. Is there anything I need to expect that they're going to ask from me for a probate? I'm not familiar with.
So listen, remember, your main job is to get it under contract and
Yep.
let them pull title and do the work. It might take a little bit to pull title on a property that's been sitting vacant. Like, you know, the tax has been paid, is there code violations, but that's all stuff you can sort out. Without the contract,
Doesn't mean
you
nothing.
don't have to worry about anything else. So
Okay.
my advice is to you is try to work with the attorney if that's what they want, and just say, listen, let's just see if we work together on one property. If you like that, then maybe we can put them all together. But I just want to demonstrate who I am and my abilities and show you I can follow through on what I'm going to do. And they're like, oh, well, that sounds good. Because by the way, when the probate gets figured out for one property, it'll be the exact same for the other 5. Exact same. Like it won't change. So you got to work with the attorney for like the will and stuff like that. The title company will tell you what liens and stuff are on the property. And your contract will say that, you know, there's any liens, mortgages, or encumbrance on the property, it's up to the seller to pay for it. Remember, everything's negotiable in the end. It just is. So just go through and just see if you can make,
if need be, just switch that out and take care of
so
it if that's what it takes to make a deal.
And go back and watch the video on that. See if you can solve one problem, maybe even like rekey one house for it. It'll kind of give you control of the house. And then you can have someone put a lockbox on there. And then if you need to send somebody in their contract, buyers, anything like that, you have full control of it.
Yep.
And then mail them a copy of the key.
Yeah, definitely. You need to make sure they have access to their own property.
No, it's just like, here's what guys, like, you got to understand, like, I used to be back there, I get so excited. I had a guy once give me 22 properties. I literally spent 4 weeks. I wasted so much energy, and like he used me like a wet rag at the end, and I learned a valuable lesson. It's like, just take one property and see if you can put a deal together, and that's going to be a barometer if you can take down the others. Because
And
why
it
spend all
also
that
kind of
energy?
builds rapport.
Yeah, because there are some buyers that will use you, leverage you, and then give it a layup to another buyer, and you do all the work for them. So don't spend a lot of energy. Don't get too excited. If it sounds too good to be true, just be very aware.
Okay, now you said that an attorney may ask for proof of funds. Being that I am just working with cash buyers out in the area, how should I go about that if something comes up? If I don't have a buyer ready to go on it because I'm still working on locking up the contract, if that comes up, how would you recommend handling that situation? Find a
So
buyer?
yeah, I mean, it's not too hard to get a cash buyers list.
Yeah.
And if your cash buyers are providing you proof of funds, if you have an assignable contract, you can explain your way through that one because they are your end
Gotcha.
buyer. Number
Okay, yeah,
two,
that makes sense.
you can set up transactional funding. You can use hard money or soft money, all stuff I tell you guys get set up in
Yep.
advance. You got to be prepared with an attorney because they're the quickest to call you to the plate. He might not call anything due. Like what type of price range roughly are these properties? Roughly.
Anywhere under 50
Yeah.
each.
So it's not a
It
big
shouldn't
number.
be that big of a deal.
Yeah, when you talk about $250,000 plus houses,
Yeah,
people
it's
want to make sure you
it's
can
not a
pay for them.
large
Under
market.
100,000, not a lot of people ask questions.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. That's all I have on that. I just needed to clear a little bit of that up.
Yeah, you go back and watch the beginning part of this. I think it'll help you out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of it was answered in there, but I had to walk away to answer the phone. Had to take the call. So
one property, it'll save you a lot of time and energy. And if it works out, you can easily go through the other 5.
sounds good.
Okay, let us know
All
how
right,
it works
thank you.
out. Okay, bud.